Well, hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation, the show that puts the shallow on the proclamation. I'm Thomas.
I'm Paul.
And we're watching Marco Polo episode 4.
Is mine out of time with yours if I do that?
No, you were pretty... Yeah, the latency was pretty
Impressive.
succulent there.
Succulent latency. That's a merchandising idea right there.
That's a band name.
Succulent latency. Barbara!
That's terrifying.
I mean, I can understand being freaked out seeing some eyes moving like that, but I mean, it's a bit dramatic, isn't it? She's a little bit over the top, Susan, in these moments.
Yeah, I bet the sound recordist, had the headphones on. There's a really quiet moment, and then Susan just screams. Both eardrums.
I know what I'm talking about.
Totally clipping on the audio.
About at night.
Yeah.
First, Barbara, now the doctor goes off taking Susan and Pincho with him.
All right, Marco, you can be angry later.
Do you think Carole Ann Ford will return to Doctor Who?
I think it'd be a real shame if they don't use her in some way. Like, I mean...
She's an iconic part of the show's history.
Well, yeah, and I'm kind of gutted they haven't brought Ian back, because, I mean, he is still alive. He actually appears in the Adventure in Time and Space kind of docudrama for the anniversary as a kind of cameo character. In fact, lots of the old companions appear in that as cameo roles of just sort of extras and things. But if you know them, you know who they are, but, I guess most people wouldn't know them. But I kind of think it's a real shame they've not brought Ian back, because particularly now, if they brought him back as sort of in his 90s as he is now.
Again, Susan noticing something that the others don't notice, something a bit supernatural, and all the adults are denying it. It's a common theme, isn't it? Oh, he looks a bit like Jeff Goldblum there.
Really?
Watch videos of Jeff Goldblum playing piano, and you will see what I mean. The amount of trauma Ian and Barbara have been through already.
Yeah.
With the Doctor, like it's not a particularly relaxing retreat, is it?
No,
when you travel with the Doctor.
Well, it's a very different dynamic, isn't it? In the sort of modern series, often when the companion has joined the Doctor, it's very much been with the idea of come and join me, and you can see anywhere in time and space and have an adventure. Whereas for Ian and Barbara, it's sort of they stumbled onto the TARDIS and they can't really go home. The Doctor can't get them home. Although they're becoming sort of more willing to be on the journey. It's a different sort of dynamic, isn't it, as to how they got there and what they were expecting.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're kind of rolling with it, aren't they, now? Like, they haven't really referenced, when are we going to be able to get home or something. Presumably the Doctor is trying to get his TARDIS to behave and take them to where he wants to take them, but...
Well, who knows with this Doctor at the moment? Like... He's definitely becoming more doctory though already, I think.
Yeah.
Much more mellowed much more, I think. He looks a bit like David Tennant, actually. Marco Polo. I think he's got a bit of David Tennant about him.
Yeah, you know what? I think you might be right.
He's not going to appear now, is he?
He was out there with
Come
his
on.
caravan.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit of the Tennants there.
Need a key to open a door.
There's a bit of tenancy. The tenancy agreement.
Succulent tenancy.
You realise you're supposed to be alive?
Yes, I know.
Why did you go to the cave? You know my rule about obtaining permission to leave here?
Tell him, Barbara.
I followed Jacqueline there.
Me?
That was such a good delivery.
You were there when I...
Yeah, is this the first Doctor Who story where we've had a named historic character? Because the Cavemen episode was just kind of indeterminate.
Well, I had Callum.
Oh yeah. Oh, how could we forget Cal?
Callum the caveman.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first Doctor Who story to feature an actual historical person, I think.
Yeah. There is a reference in the very first episode of Doctor Who, part 1 of An Unearthly Child, where Susan is reading a history book and she's like, oh no, that didn't happen during the French Revolution. Implying that she'd been there to...
Well, strangely enough, that's where we're going to get at the end of this season. So,
tasty.
so how did she know? Had she been there already? Before? I don't know. I think I'd be happy to see them bring back some historicals where, even in the modern era, I don't think you have to have a kind of an alien threat or anything like that. I think they could just go back into some events, as long as it's an interesting story.
I think it's good, although it is annoying when it's kind of always the punchline is that it's thanks to the Doctor and the companions that a certain historic event happened. So like the Rosa Parks episode, it's like because of that interaction with the Doctor, like if that hadn't happened, then Rosa Parks might not have, achieved the thing she did, and it kind of undermines history a little bit because it's like we needed this alien from another planet to actually trigger these key historic events in human history.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll get a few good stories, coming up where we've got some historicals which are moving as well. We can actually watch them, so hopefully we'll get a good sense of how to do it well from those.
Yeah, because in this one so far, it kind of seems like the Doctor and the companions are they're kind of joining in on the ride, but they're not really influencing history that much.
Yeah. And that becomes a sort of big thing about, the Doctor shouldn't interfere.
Yeah. It is very merciful that so many photos were taken on set. I mean, basically every scene has been covered, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I think I said this is the most documented story, I think, in terms of photos and material they could use. Although I did hear that sometime in the was it in the 90s? I did make a note of it. Yeah, sometime in the sort of mid-90s, a television station in West Africa contacted the BBC offering to return the complete first and second seasons of the 1960s era. But the person on the phone, for whatever reason, said, "Nah, it's fine," and then they got destroyed. So whether they really did have the complete first 2 seasons of Doctor Who, we'll never know. But it may well be possible that they had but complete Marco Polo, and it was destroyed.
That would be the discovery of the century, wouldn't it? Like an intact copy of Marco Polo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not impossible because, like, at the 50th anniversary, the year of the 50th anniversary, they announced they'd actually found some stories from the Patrick Troughton era, and they released them. Like, they'd kind of kept it. Wow. They'd obviously worked on it and cleaned it up and got it ready for release. And one of them was a 6-part story that I think was almost, I don't know if every episode had been missing, but it was there in its 6-part glory. And another one was maybe it was another 6-parter, and there was still one episode missing, but they'd found all the others. Where previously there'd only been maybe one of them. So there were now 5 out of 6, and they animated the other episode, or I think they used pictures to do that. So, Doctor Who fans, stuff does still turn up.
Yeah.
I remember, in the early 90s getting my copy of Tomb of the Cybermen for Christmas on my birthday, and that was one that had been lost for years and years and years, and then had been discovered. So we live in hope.
I will just say, I don't know if this has been said before, but the sets are incredible.
I think the real crime is how little we've commented on the sets.
Yeah.
Do they say that he looks a bit like David Tennant?
Repetition is a form of comedy. Repetition is a form of comedy. Ask me what the key to comedy is.
Interesting to show you.
Go on.
The old magician is
Thomas, what's the key
Timing.
to comedy?
He's what? Is this true, Ian? Why don't we go outside and have a look?
Oh dear.
These are the 2 jokes I've memorised.
This is how we're going to get through these reconstructions.
I saw him going
Yeah.
inside.
everyone calls him old, but as you say, William Hartnell's what?
Can I not stay
In
here?
his 50s?
50, yeah, in his 50s. He has been aged up, so
Yeah.
Put that key in the lock, Polo.
I suppose realistically, but for a Time Lord, surely he's just very young.
You need more than a key
That's
to
true.
enter my ship. You need knowledge.
Although he is the
You will
timeless
Shut up.
child.
understand.
Don't you dare.
I let you back at last.
Ryan Sinclair. Don't you dare. Are they in the tent being held captive?
Yes, it looks like. Oh, that's.
Ian's cutting. Here we go. Ian's cutting
Yeah.
through the tent to avoid the guard. I think we're coming up to the cliffhanger.
Yeah, I mean,
Bit
a
of a
tent
plate.
isn't a great place to keep people as prisoners, is it?
Not known for its high security.
You can use a smashed plate to cut through it. Oh, this is going to be a jump scare, isn't it? As Ian grabs the guard, he finds he is already dead. Ooh.
There we go.
Awesome.
Well, that was another episode.
It was Doctor Who, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to comment, isn't it? It's just
It
it's
is.
just hard to comment with not much to look at. But I mean,
Yeah, we're really trying to concentrate on these, but yeah, I'm sure viewers will be able to sympathise that, you know, the idea we signed up to watching the back catalogue of Doctor Who with the emphasis on the term watching,
not just listening to the back catalogue of Doctor Who.
but no, it's great. I mean, it's a labour of love, this reconstruction, and sets were great. Has that been said before?
I can't remember. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'll say it again. The sets are great. So
and you know, that guy looks a bit like David Tennant. So we'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye bye.
goodbye.